The Honourable Member Chris Hipkins.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. Mr Speaker, the Labour Party has a positive plan for New Zealand. While the National Party over there are crowing about spending more money on roads, they can't find more money to spend on kids' education. That says everything about this national government's priorities. Mr Speaker, it is vitally important that we invest in the future of our country through an investment in education. And this government are ignoring the enormous pressure that schools are under financially, the enormous pressure that teachers are under, the enormous pressure that parents are under. This Labour Party, as part of our positive plan for New Zealand, will do something about that. We are not going to turn a blind eye to the fact that schools funding isn't keeping up with the rising cost of educating children. Today, David Cunliffe and I went out to Ferguson Intermediate out in Upper Hutt, and we announced that a future Labour government after the next election will abolish school donations in all those schools where they are willing to accept an extra $100 per child per year in exchange for not asking for donations. Almost all decile 1 to 7 schools will be better off not asking parents for donations and taking the extra $100. It will massively alleviate some of the pressure that those parents face. It will remove the stigma from the children whose parents can't afford to make the donation. It will ease the pressure on those schools so that they can get on to what they are there to do, what they are passionate about doing, educating kids. This is a government who have got their priorities all wrong when it comes to education, and I tell you what, we're going to change the focus on September the 21st when a new Labour government takes office. We will reject the narrow focus of the education system that this government are trying to indoctrinate into the system based on last century's needs for education, and we will make sure that every child in New Zealand is taught a broad and balanced curriculum so that they have the skills they need to thrive and prosper in the 21st century. We won't go labelling teachers as failures in the way this government wants to do with their low trust model of education. They seem to think that all teachers are out there to do their very best to fail kids. I actually think every teacher that goes to work every day wants to do the best by kids, and the biggest thing that's letting them down at the moment is that they're not being supported in their job by enough resource from government to meet the increasing needs that students are arriving at school presenting. The increasing needs, well, this Labour Party acknowledges the enormous pressure that schools are under to meet an increasingly diverse range of student learning needs, and we are going to do something about that. We are not going to ignore the snowballing mountain of special education needs that are going unattended by this government. As we hear more reports today that specialist support for students with learning needs is being taken away. Another set of reports coming through today of yet more support for kids who need it the most being taken away. This government said that they're going to keep measuring the problem. They're going to measure and assess kids more and more so they can target the resources where they need. Instead, what we're seeing is they're taking the resources away from the kids that need it so they can spend more time measuring. They're constantly focused on measuring, and they're not putting any resource, any extra resource, into the kids that most need it. Well, we're going to turn that around. We're going to make sure that those kids get the support that they need. When's that? Starts on the 21st of September, I can tell Tau Henry, when this national government are going to get voted out, because New Zealanders are going to see the positive vision that Labour has for this country that puts education front and centre of our program to make sure that we are investing in the future of this country. Because every dollar that we spend on education, every dollar that we spend giving kids the best possible start in life is a dollar that we are investing in the future of this country. Now, I got a very good education, and I want to make sure that every child in New Zealand gets the type of good education that I was fortunate to receive. And now I know that a lot of kids at the moment, a lot of parents at the moment, they're struggling. They're struggling to contribute to their kids' education in the way that they would like to. They cannot find the money that they would like to be able to give to their local school so that they can deliver the cost of educating, they can deliver on educating kids in the way that they want to, and the Labour Party is going to do something about that. This government are ignoring the fact that parents now contribute in the form of voluntary donations nearly $100 million a year. So this is in our supposedly free state education system. Parents are being asked to contribute by way of donations, nearly $100 million a year, and this government have got their heads buried in the sand if they think that school funding is enough to keep up with the cost of educating kids. It simply isn't, and the Labour Party is going to do something about that. We started today and there's more to come.
I call the honourable member Jackie Dean.
So much,
You're
Mr.
welcome.
Speaker, and I was so pleased to hear that Anne Tolley